So I'm going to tell everybody out there exactly what is wrong with the dating scene here in 2025. Now, it wasn't just this year. This was many decades prior to this. But now we have just reached this point to where men and women feel like there are no good men and no good women, and there is no reason for us to date, and nobody should get married, and nobody should procreate. Like all of these ridiculous opinions that people have because they have been burned and scarred. And I'm not belittling your pain. Maybe you're somebody out there who's watching this and somebody did stab you in the back, somebody mistreated you and betrayed your loyalty. Not saying that didn't happen, but what I am going to say in this video is I believe I know why we're at this point right now. We condone degeneracy to the max. Immorality, sexual immorality, perversion, all of those things that we just plaster all over TV, all over movies, all in music, all on billboards, all on magazines, all over the place. And people just don't care no more. But once again, how do we get to this point? Because a lot of people that listen to that stuff, it goes into their subconscious, and then men treat women terribly, women treat men terribly. When did it all start? We got to go back in time to when you were a little kid. I stand by this statement, okay, that the family foundation paves the way for the direction of society. I'll say it again. The family foundation paves the way to the direction of society. You take the father out of the home and you only leave a mom. We have a society that celebrates single mothers, single mom this, single mom that. Like if you're a single mom, no shade, you're doing what you got to do, and it's not your fault, okay? But when you take the father out of the home, you disable partially what is supposed to be a characteristic within a young man or a little boy or a little girl, okay? The first instant of a man that a little girl and a little boy sees is their father. The standard of a man that a little boy and a little girl sees at first glance is their father. The way that a leader should look should be resembling your father. Everything comes back to the father. When we are kids, we learn things. We pick things up from TV. We pick things up from the streets. We pick some things up at school. We pick some things up within the home. And then as we grow and we age and we mature, all of these little pieces and compartments that make up our characteristics and our personality form an adult. I work with a couple of women, and then, I'm old-fashioned. This is what I saw growing up, okay? But I work with a few women, and I will hold the door open for them to come through the door before me. And there have been some times I would hold the door open and they would stop. Like not even subconsciously realizing that I was trying to open the door for them and not for me. And what I said to those ladies, I made sure that I was verbalizing them, and I said, you haven't had a lot of men open doors for you, have you? And, they would say, no, I haven't. I go to the grocery store and I see the man getting in the car, then the lady getting in the car last, not opening the door. Like very, very rare do we see men opening doors for women anymore. Now, some of you may be like, well, what's the big deal? It's just a car. Get in the car. It is a big deal because it says a lot about you as a man. It says a lot about what you were not taught on how to treat a woman. All right? You're supposed to open her door. She's not supposed to touch the door. Same with gas pumps. Ladies pumping gas, men sitting in the passenger side on their phones, on social media or whatever, just sleep. And she out there pumping gas. Like, that's cringe. She shouldn't be pumping no gas. You know, if one of my kids is driving in the car with my wife and I'm not in the car, I tell them, you better make sure that you get out and you pump gas and she don't touch that pump. That's just what it is. Because like I said, I was raised in a household that wasn't perfect, but my great-grandfather, he did the best that he possibly could to make my great-grandmother feel special. He would bring her flowers on no occasion. It didn't have to be an anniversary. It didn't have to be her birthday. It didn't have to be Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. He just would randomly bring her flowers. He would do special things for her. You know, I witnessed things like that with my stepdad and my mom, you know, rubbing her feet, back rubs with my grandparents. I've seen these things, you know, just really doing the best that they could to make one another feel special. And these were characteristics that were seen in the households, ways of showing affection and love. And what I believe that is wrong with this society is that we have a lot of grown men and women who just were not taught these things. You can't do what you don't know. Now, that's not to say that you can't learn. We all make mistakes. And no, I'm not perfect. I did not always open the door for my spouse. It took time for me to recognize that that was something that needed to be done subconsciously. And it's okay. But the thing is, if you realize it, what's that old saying? When you know better, you do better. And when you realize that what you're doing isn't right, then you need to start doing it. So here's an example. Fellas, and I know there's some guys out here that do it, but there's a lot of you who don't. I have watched a lot of you men let a door slam in a woman's face. Like you could be going inside of a grocery store, the gas station, flings the door open, lady coming behind them. You know you see her. She's right there in your peripheral vision. You saw her walking up the same time that you were walking to the door, and you open the door and it just shuts in her face. Now, in your mindset, you're really not thinking right now. You're thinking, I just need to get in here and get what I need to get. I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. I got a million things on my mind. But what that woman is thinking is that, see, there's no good men in the world. There's no good men in the world. You can, fellas, you can open the door for a woman and you don't even have to know her. You don't have to know her name. You don't have to know anything about her. Do you realize that may be something that gives her hope that there are good men in this world? That may be something that gives her a little bit of confidence, you know what I'm saying? Because some ladies may not be feeling themselves that day, and you open the door for them, make them feel special. Like that might do something for them, and you don't know. You could be contributing to another good woman, giving it her all, becoming the best version of herself just because you open the door for her. Now, again, some of you may not, y'all may not get it. You may not understand the significance of it, but it's just true. There's just a lot of people, men in this society, who just don't know how to treat women. You know, and I know some of you guys are probably going to come down on me and say, well, what about the ladies? They don't know how to treat a man. They do this, they do that, they do that, they do this. I'm trying to tell you that it all stems from the father, whether he is present or just unpresent in the home. Was her dad there? Did her dad teach her how to be a lady? Did her dad teach her all of the things to avoid with men? Little girls need their father, because I think I said this maybe in the previous video, but the first image of a real man is her father. Her father is supposed to teach her about men who are jokers, men who like to run game. Her father is supposed to teach her that there's some men out here who will lie and say things just to get sex. There's some, her father is supposed to make sure that she's independent, that she can work for her own money, that she can make her own living, that she can take care of herself. But also understand, you know, the mother being in the picture as well, letting her know that she can tap into her femininity when the time comes, when a man that is worthy of having that comes to the picture. And the only man that is worthy of that is a man that resembles her father. I'll say it again, ladies. The only man that is worthy of having your prized possessions is a man that resembles your father. Now, some of you might be like, Derek, listen, my father wasn't there, so I don't have a template. I don't know. And I get it. there's a really large percentage of fatherless homes. And yes, your dad may not have been there. But again, we get older, we realize things. When you know better, you do better. If your father was not in the picture, ladies, you know exactly the way you want to be treated. Like nobody is foolish. We all know how we want to be treated. Okay, we want to be treated with love. We want to be treated with respect. We want to be treated with kindness. Y'all want to feel important. All of these different things you want in your life. And I'm trying to tell you, sometimes it may take going through the thorns and the bushes to find that man, and you may get scratched up and scarred a couple of times, but don't let that change the character of you. Don't let people change the content of your character, all right? And fellas, same with you. You scream to the top of the roof that women these days are too masculine and they're too manly and they don't want to submit to you. Well, again, a lot of you think that your power and your worth is in your private area and your money, and that's not true, because both of them can start working. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Y'all know I'm unfiltered, and I'm not gonna hold no punches, because I'm sick and tired of people complaining about there's no good men and no good women in this society. So, you need to learn how to treat a lady. Okay, you need to learn how to talk to women. One time I talked to a young lady. She was about 22, 23 years old, and she had a boyfriend who was always being rough with her, being negative, just saying things that just wasn't uplifting her and building her up. And she would come to me and say that. I said, you know something? If I really wanted to, I could take advantage of that. Listen, man, fellas, if a woman comes to you and they're in a relationship and they're telling you what their man is not doing or what they're doing that they don't like, that woman right there is open, fair game. No, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying that is one of the biggest reasons why women step out, is because they are being mistreated and not heard and all of the above. It's really not hard to please a woman. It's not hard to please a woman. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care how old she is. Don't care what type of education she's got. It is not hard to please a woman. No, you got to know how to talk to her. Treat her like a lady. Treat her with respect. And watch what she does. That natural feminine energy will come out that all of us men crave. And we need that, man. We need that so we can thrive in the workplace. So we can thrive out here and about as leaders and just conquerors of society. We need that, fellas. We need women to be girly. We need them to be feminine. We need them to be sexy. We need them to be that way so that, we come home to them as, wives and knowing how to be a wife. But again, society as a whole, as the kids like to say, is cooked. No hope for this society, folks. No hope for the world. But there is hope for the individual. There is hope for you. There is hope for whoever's listening to this video and you're just tired of the current situation. There's hope. Analyze your behavior tendencies. Fellas, how do you treat ladies? Ladies, how do you treat men? And I will say this, as a man, it's on you guys. It is on you. Back in the day, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, when divorces were not as high as they are now. There were still divorces going on. Divorce has been going on since the biblical days, but nowhere near like what it is now, which well over 75%. No wonder people don't want to get married, because they don't know how to treat each other. It's infatuation that y'all got. It ain't love, because you don't know how to love each other. You don't know how to treat each other. You don't know how to talk to each other, because you didn't have a template to look at. But back in those old days, the men picked up the ladies to go to the prom and to go on dates. They went to go to the movies. They didn't go to the hotel. You didn't take them to bed. There was none of that. They didn't even kiss. There ain't no kisses, no hugs, none of that stuff. They wanted to learn each other, but y'all be so quick to jump the gun and put the cart before the horse, and want to get in the bedroom and then wonder why society messed up now. You're doing everything wrong. But back then, we saw large families. We saw men and women getting married at 20 and not getting married at 47 years old and 50. Not saying that's wrong with it. Back then, it didn't take a lot to know that you love somebody. It just didn't. I was just talking to my wife, like back in the days, you know, high school sweethearts would date, and they could not wait until they graduated high school so they could get married. The boys, you know, would propose to the girls at 16 and 17. They would get married at 18 or 19. The boys would go to the military, come home, have a baby. Go to the military, go deployment, come home, have a baby. It was not uncommon for families to have 6 siblings, 10 siblings, 13 siblings. Like, and y'all like get in your feelings now. Oh my gosh, you got 5 kids? Like, man, that's nothing. My great grandmother had 12, 15 kids. You know why? Because they loved each other. They couldn't get enough of each other. Now, men and women can't stand looking at each other. It's sad. It truly is. But I'm in this video with the focal point that I want you to think about. Why the dating scene is terrible now. It all stems from the family foundation. That's where it is. Everything starts with the family. Every person that you see walking the planet comes from a family, comes from a household of particular standards, values, whether that be good things or not so good things. Everybody comes from a family, and those qualities, they tend to show in society. Again, whether it's bad or not. And the people that are walking the planet utilize those qualities, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. You know what I'm saying? And now we got a bunch of men who just don't know how to treat women, and women that don't know how to receive a man. How should I put this without sounding too graphic? The man is always going to be the one to pursue, to enter into the engagement with the woman. And the female, the woman, is always going to be the receiver, no matter how you look at it. Ladies, you are the receiver. We are the ones that enter into the engagement with you. And yes, that goes for what you're thinking, but that is just human nature, just the law of I don't want to say the law of attraction, but just the law of nature between men and women. So, and there's a lot of women out here who don't know how to receive compliments, that don't know how to receive a man that's being genuine, because sometimes you think that, you know, why is he being so nice? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? What does he want from me? What does he want from me? What does he want from me? And a lot of times you're like, again, you're burnt, you're scarred from bad experiences like back in the day. But don't let those stop you from at least utilizing some discernment with some of the men in which that come into your life. Because not all guys are bad. Not all men are bad. And fellas, not all ladies are bad. There's some awesome, godly women out here who want to be wives, who want to support you, who want to love you, who want to give you children, who want to give you feminine energy. And ladies, there are men out here who want to support you, who want to provide for you, who want to protect you, who want to lead you into a great life. All right. So that's going to do it for this video. All comments are welcome. Doesn't matter what it is. Just try to keep it respectable, please. Love you all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your patience as I have, returned to YouTube and to give my insight on different various topics. I'm just speaking on things that are on my heart right now because, again, society needs a lot of work. We need more nice people in the world, more good men, more good ladies in the world, because, again, we just need it. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.